And under my post, he said something like, as I'm talking to you right now, my landlord has locked up my house. So he is a father. He said he's 33 years old. He's a father of, I forget how many, 2 or 3 children. And his landlord locked up the house just this afternoon or this evening. It brought tears to my eyes because I remember being in that situation as a married person, as a younger person, where I couldn't pay rent. In one of the houses, they gave me quick notice. And then I moved to another house. And also I couldn't pay, and they also gave me quick notice. So I gave myself quick notice and then left the place. And, so financial adversity is a fact of life. And many people go through it. Majority of us are going through financial hardship, even as I speak. Some of you listening to this are going through financial hardship. So I often want to talk about subjects that I don't feel that people are talking about enough. So the title of tonight is When Money is Tight. Okay? When money is tight. What to do when money is tight and there's no one coming to save you. You are basically on your own. Have you ever been in that situation? Type yes in the comment section. If you've ever been in a situation where money was tight and there was no one to bail you out, you were literally on your own. It's like this gentleman whose landlord locked out of the house with his wife and children out there, basically on their own. Have you ever been in that situation? You're having some real financial difficulties and then there was no one to turn to. You were literally on your own. You look to the left, there's no one. You look to the right, you look to your front, you look to your back, and then there's no one to turn to. So we need to know what to do when money is tight, because at certain moments in our lives, money will be tight. At certain moments in our lives, money will be tight. And it does not matter whether you're a good person or a bad person. In fact, sometimes I even think it tends to happen more. Maybe not, because nobody has actually researched this. I was about to say that it probably tends to happen more to good people. People who wouldn't compromise their values, who wouldn't do wrong. But it might be wrong. Money might actually be tight a lot more often for people who are not good, who cheat, who defraud other people, who are greedy, who do all kinds of things. You would imagine, for instance, that money will never be tight for Nigerian politicians. Not true. Not true. And that's what makes the whole thing mysterious. Anyway, that's going to be a subject for another day. But today, what do you do when money is tight and you are on your own? So first of all, money becomes tight. We get into situations where money is tight for 3 or 4 reasons. And listen very carefully, because this background is very important, especially if money is tight around you right now. So I have gone through many times, many periods in my life, some long ago, some very, very recent, where money was tight, like tight. So from my own experience with having situations where money was tight, there was a prayer I used to pray, and that prayer gave me a lot of wisdom. I used to pray, Father, if what I'm going through right now is a process you're taking me through, please help me to have the wisdom and patience to go through it and to have what I'm going through. But if I'm going through this because of my own, to know what to do so that I can come out of it. So now that gives you a clue as to why money really gets tight, for us many times. So one, it could be just a feedback. We're going through a period of feedback. And many of us don't realize that we have financial feedback literally every day, every season in our lives. Money is giving us feedback, but many of us are not taking the feedback. And what happens when you don't take feedback? What happens? Type it in the comment section. When you don't pay attention to feedback. So you can imagine, so our finances are giving us feedback every single day, and also during moments. So many times, the feedback now becomes like a dry season. Money gets tight because we've not been listening to feedback. Let me give you some examples, personal examples. In the early part of our marriage, I didn't realize, sometimes, when you get married, the life sort of starts mirroring you to yourself. Because I never knew I had that kind of habit, and I was working with Shia at this particular time. And I discovered that anytime the company, there was maybe a negotiation between the union and the management, and then somebody dropped some rumor, that we're going to be paid some kind of bonus. And then, or maybe, 13th month is going to be paid as a so date in November this year. Or there's going to be profit sharing, something, and then, this amount of money is going to be paid. And then what I used to do in those days, once I heard that, as soon as I came home, I started planning for the money. I started planning for money that had not come. And I was always like, but the union said it, or Shell said it, so you're going to pay it, and things like that. And my wife would always say, do not plan for money that you've only heard about, that you have not seen, that you have not received. Don't plan for money that you have not received. And then, a couple of occasions, that thing just turned to be a rumor, and then there was no money. Meanwhile, I had spent and made commitments. So money gives us feedbacks. And then the particular kind of feedback that many of us receive and ignore every day is our expenses. Discipline with our expenses. We receive feedback every single time about our expenses. You see, because wisdom has built this sensitivity inside each of us when it comes to earning and spending. And then there's literally an unwritten law that you should never spend more than you earn. It's literally the written law of wealth. Or let me say unwritten law of wealth. You won't find it written in any constitution in any country or something, but it's right there. Do not spend more than you earn. But we do it. And then every day, we keep getting this feedback. This feedback, our money keeps on giving us feedback. You're spending more, you're spending too much, you're spending too much. Because nobody gets rich spending more than he or she earns. Nobody gets rich. Nobody can get rich spending more than what you're earning. So we get this feedback every day. We keep on ignoring it until now. Money says, all right, let's give this guy final feedback. And then so money becomes tight. So that is, about feedback. Sometimes we're going through financial dry season because it's a feedback. It's a feedback that is trying to help us to forestall a bigger problem in the future. Because if we kept on going that way, we might run into some very big crisis in the future. Okay? Now, the second reason that that money becomes tight in our situations might not necessarily be a feedback, but it might be a natural process. It might just be the process, of nature trying to mature you, trying to, launch you into another season. So let me use two illustrations. So there is a natural cycle where, remember that one of the laws of wealth is patience. Is patience, delayed gratification, and patience. It's literally impossible to become wealthy without patience. Now, two illustrations. One is, if you're a farmer, like myself, you know that there is a time, there's a planting season, and then there is harvesting season. When you plant, nothing happens. Nothing happens. As soon as you put that seed in there, you prepare the soil, and then you put the seed in the ground. Nothing happens. There's nothing coming. In 1 week, in 2 weeks, in 1 month, in 2 months, in 3 months. So we think that money is tight. And that's also why if you are involved in commodity trading, you would have noticed that there's a time that farmers sell off their produce so that they can get money for the next planting season. So it's a natural process of planting and harvesting, sowing and reaping. So at the time that you have planted, nothing comes. So that might be what is causing money to be tight around you. So it's a natural process. The second illustration is a pregnant woman. You know, when someone is pregnant, it takes them 9 months. You know, Warren Buffett said you cannot make a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. That's a very wise saying. You cannot make a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. So sometimes money is tight, not because we've done anything wrong or we've made financial mistakes or something, or business mistakes. It's tight because it's a natural time. It's a natural time for you to, build new skills, invest in your education. Like when you're investing in your education or building skills, say like skills in the stock market, in the financial markets, you're building skills in retailing, in retail industry, you're building skills in commodity trading, you're building skills in programming, you're building skills in artificial intelligence. So that's a season. So when you are building the skills, you are investing, you're planting, and money might be quite tight, like when sometimes I've met young people who have had to look for ways, to borrow money in order to build one particular skill. Very, very commendable. So at that time, you've borrowed money, you've put money together, from here and there. So money can be tight because you're learning. But you see, it also gives you hope because by the time you set up that skill, by the time you have planted in your farm, when the harvest comes, it's going to be multiples of whatever it was that you invested. Okay, is someone getting helped? Say yes. I need interaction. I need interaction in the comment section. Just type yes. Are you finding some help? Type yes. Yes. Okay. There is a third reason I believe that money becomes tight. So sometimes something unexpected can happen, especially in our part of the world. The loss of a loved one, sudden departure of a loved one, it can make money tight. Has this happened to anybody here? Someone you love, someone that's really important in the family, to everybody. I mean, everybody in the family is very important, and then the person, kind of falls sick and then dies. So it can create a sudden economic downturn, especially if it's the breadwinner, the father in the house, the uncle who has been taking care of the family since after, your father passed on or something like that. And then that uncle also goes. So it creates a lot of challenges. So unexpected storms, sometimes it could be something like losing your job. I know people who lost their jobs in 2020, and then 5 years since then, they've not been able to find their feet. All right. So that is the part about when money is tight. So What do you do when you find yourself in that situation and then money is tight? So the first thing you really want to do is to take care of your mind. Your mindset matters. The mindset with which you approach adversity, financial adversity, matters a lot. Matters a lot. And usually there are two mindsets. One is a victim mindset. Oh, why me? Why is this always happening to me? Why me? Why me? And then to people who say, why me? Why me? I ask them, if not you, who else? You know? So that's not a very good question when you find when money is tight. Avoid that why me victim mentality. And the reason you also want to avoid it is that you are not the very first person. You're not the very first human being to be in that situation. So you've got to shift your mindset, from panic to power. You're better off and your brain functions better in a positive environment, knowing that whatever is going on is temporary. It's not forever. Okay? So you don't want to let fear and frustration get the better part of you, because when there is fear and when there is frustration, you don't see the future. So you need hope. Hope is the diesel of life, because the moment you lose hope, everything goes bad. So I can imagine that man who was locked out. He has a wife and children, and he was locked out, just today by the landlady. Landlord, so what do you do in that kind of situation? So you want to make sure that you don't let fear and frustration kick in. There's a reason when you're flying, I don't know how many of us here fly often, but each time when the air crew are demonstrating the safety features of the plane, they always say that in the case of emergency, something about don't panic. Because the moment you are in panic mode, you cannot make very good decisions. And especially if you're a parent, and then if you're a father, you don't want to demonstrate fear and lack of control before the woman and the children, because it's going to be very difficult. So one of the advanced male skills, if I call it male skills, male leadership skills, is demonstrating confidence, even in the face of fear, where your children, family, where your wife and children are. Because I've seen men who are even less emotionally stable than their wives and their women when there's a situation. So men are not designed to function, in a flustered state. We function better when there is a clear head. Okay? Is this making sense? Is this helping you? Type in the comment section. We function better when we have a calm and clear head. All right. So shift your mindset from panic to power, and then tell yourself that it's going to be okay. There's a reason I keep telling you all every single day. I tell you to keep showing up. Keep showing up, because you just never know. You just never know. Physically, you might be seeing other financial hardship, but just beyond the veil of what you are experiencing is such a breakthrough. Like they say that there's always a silver lining in the cloud. So the cloud is dark, but at the edge of the cloud, there's a silver lining. So you need to adopt that kind of mindset. It's not over. No, it's not over. Everybody type in the comment section. It's not over. Okay. So I see comments. Yes. So people who, okay. And then Perry said, it happened to me. My hubby just passed on, the breadwinner of the house. It's been hard. I'm so sorry to hear this, Perry. I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah. I've had opportunity to work with a few women who lost their husbands. It's hard. It's hard, but it's not over. It's not over. I'm going to share some ideas about what you can do. Also look at what other people have done. All right. So make up your mind that it is what it is right now, that things have changed. That mindset. Things have changed, but there is silver lining to the cloud. Okay. The second thing that you want to consider in your situation is to manage your expenses wisely. Manage expenses wisely. It sounds like oxymoron. Is that what it is? And it's also ironic, probably, because this is a time that money is tight, and then you're saying manage expenses wisely. The reason is managing expenses is not about how much money that you have. It's more like the attitude to what you have. Because I have watched our mothers make incredible meals with nothing, like near when things were really super abundant. Our women are just incredible. Our mothers, shout out to our mothers, in the house, so our women, and then my wife does it. I don't know how they do it, because, she'll be teasing, the kids when they was younger, and then they were all at home. So I'll come and cook, and then she will just be teasing, when daddy cooks, because the pot is filled with all kinds of things. I'll buy this, buy that, buy stockfish, still buy meat, buy dried fish, buy all kinds of, and then put in the pot. And of course, it's very delicious. The children will be saying, oh, they love it, But when she cooks, with a fraction of all these things, and then fathers and husbands in the comment section, you can confirm what I'm telling you. So they say that when men cook, and it's not only my wife that has said it, I've heard many women say it, when men go to cook, they will buy, what they buy, just whatever. But then this is everyday meal that these women have been making for us is still sweeter than what we make, So what my wife cooks with a little, like there's a particular okra soup she makes with literally nothing, but I never have enough of that okra soup. And I've never been able to find out how she made it. And when I make my own okra soup, whoa, the onions I'm going to pour there, the crayfish, the dried fish, the beef, all kinds of things I will pack into it. But that thing, she makes it with barely 3 ingredients. And then I never have enough. So each time I say, please make that your okra soup. And she doesn't add oil to it. But, I will leak and not be able to. So the point I'm making is, managing wisely has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. It also has a lot to do with how do you take what you have and turn it into an art. How do you take, the few ingredients that you have and then still make it, something, still make a meal that the whole family would enjoy. So that's really important, when you are going through, when money is tight. So money is tight. So you can't submit to the temptation of extravagant spending, and then maybe that's the time that your friends say, oh, okay, there's somebody doing a wedding, so let's go and show up very well for our friend. Let's go, let's go, buy clothes and things like that. You don't have that sort of thing to go and start investing in new clothes when money is tight. That's not the time. In business circles, we talk about capex. We talk about opex and capex. So when money is tight, it's not when you want to do capital expenditure. It's not when you want to go into huge capital expenditure. So it's the same thing in your personal finances. When money is tight, that's not the time to start making any non-essential expenses. So please be aware of that. And I think it's more of like a social pressure thing. Don't succumb to social pressure. Let people really know. Like all of you who have been following me closely, I don't have money. I'm not rich. I keep saying it. So when I see all this upon social media, I thank God for them. I don't know where in this same economy they are making this kind of money that they are using. Somebody who just wakes up one day and goes to buy a Lamborghini. And then what is it that they are doing? Especially my Anambra brothers. And someone is just building hotels, building mansions. Look at his garage, almost 20 cars. And, he doesn't have a business. He doesn't have a chain of businesses. And he's like, so I become real to myself. I don't have that kind of money. And I can't follow, like they say, there's a proverb in my village that the mouse that follows the lizard to go play in the rain, that lizard's body will dry. I'm just trying to make a transliteration, that the lizard's body will dry, but the body of the mouse will not dry. Is this helping you? Keep typing. I need you guys to interact with me in the comment section. So I'll be reading your comments and also, reflect what I'm saying. If it's making sense to you, reflect it. And, also type your experience of these things and all that. So I'm saying when money is tight, please avoid all this being like the Joneses. You're not trying to impress anybody. The reason sometimes, money is tight is that we actually wanted to be like our neighbors. We wanted to impress somebody. We want to impress people online. So we purchase things that we can't afford. We buy cars that we apparently cannot afford, so that we can come online, show pictures, show our cars and things like that, and then we cannot afford it. So when the lizard's body is dry, your own body, isn't dry. Okay. What I think actually is, in terms of what to do when money is tight, the fastest, the most important and effective thing to do, ladies and gentlemen, sell, find something and sell. Find something and sell. I know a couple of women who lost in fact, one comes to my mind right now. She lost her husband, through political whatever, and he was a very young person. And they had, I believe it's 4 young children at the time. She had 4 young children. This woman became very, very enterprising. I mean, she was always enterprising, but now she was on her own. Remember, today we're talking about what to do when money is tight and you are on your own. So many women, lose their husbands and then they are on their own. And then sometimes it's not because relations don't want to help, but the truth is, the reality is, people are also dealing with their own issues. People are dealing with their own issues. I know people who I genuinely want to, with all my heart, help. I have the widows, there are people, going through a lot. There are people in situations, I genuinely want to help them. There are children in the neighborhoods, I want to pay school fees. I want to relieve their parents. It's in my heart, but I don't have the capacity to do it. And many times you find yourself on your own, not because people can't, but everybody is dealing with their own issues. I have projects that are not moving. I have things, around me, and I do give, because giving is part of what you should actually do when money is tight. As strange as that sounds, giving is actually what you should do when money is tight. You should give more when you don't have money than when you have money. Everybody type it in the comment section. I'm not sure you've heard you've heard that statement before. Type it. You should give money when money is tight. Give more money when money is tight. How did I put it? I've actually forgot. If you captured it the first time, put it down there. But you should actually give more money when money is tight than when money is all over the place. Because giving money when money is tight is one of the keys to coming out of financial hardship. You can also type this one down. Just type what I'm saying. When money is tight, give more. Okay, I think that's a good way to put it. When money is tight, give more. Everybody type it in the comment section. Those of you on YouTube, listening on YouTube, type it in the comment section. When money is tight, give more. When money is tight, give more. Find opportunities to give. And then the kind of giving I'm talking about is the type that your left hand doesn't know what your right hand is doing. That's the kind of giving I'm talking about. Not the type that people do this as they carry camera. They carry camera, all over the place, and then, okay, and they carry camera. All right. So Madam, how much is all the banana that you are carrying? You know, how much is all the banana? The woman says, okay, it is 5,000 naira. Okay, so madam, this is 100,000 naira. I'm giving. Then the woman kneels down. I say, oh, you know, no. They get their reward. It's good. It's good. Thank God, for that. But that's not the kind of giving that you want to do. Wise people do not give like that. And I tell you, there are more people giving off camera than in camera. And I've discovered that kind of giving, that your left hand doesn't know what your right hand is doing. Do you know who it came from? This expression, this principle. If you knew who it came from, who said it, you will know how powerful it is. So the kind of giving that your left hand doesn't know what your right hand is doing. Very many years ago, in fact, I was still working in Shell at the time, and I remember one school season. I'm trying to remember if I was on leave or something, but I wasn't going to work, for that week. And I saw this young girl who was supposed to be in school. I think she was like in JS2 or JS3 at the time, like one of these junior secondary classes. The first day I saw her, and this was around like 10 p.m. She was just walking, going somewhere along the street. Second day I saw her. People were in school. I saw her also, maybe around 10, 11. So I called her and said, what's going on? Why are you not in school? She said that they haven't been able to pay her school fees. So the school asked her to go home. The school sent her home. Then I told my wife, and I said to the girl, call your mother. Her father wasn't there, at the time. Her father was not there. So I said, call your mother. So she called her mother. My wife and I asked her, how much is the child's school fee? We want her to go to school tomorrow. She said it is this amount of money. We counted the money and gave her. And she went and paid her school fee, and the girl continued school. Funny enough, not long ago, we met that girl again. In fact, and the mother, they came to our house. The girl is a big woman, very big woman, managing a company, a branch of a company, very big girl, and years later. So this thing was about 2000, this thing must have been about 2007. Yeah, I was still in Shell at the time. It was 2007. And so this almost 20 years, and then we're seeing the girl, the joy, just amazing. But the reason I tell the story was that little did I know that just a few years after that, I was going to find myself in a situation where I wasn't going to be able to pay my children's school fees. I wasn't able to pay. And then, not once, not twice, which is a funny thing about the way God works. Because you pay once, you help somebody once. And that is how God will continue on the basis of that one giving you did. He will continue giving until you yourself, you forget that it was actually because of that thing that He is blessing you, but He doesn't. And He doesn't stop. I mean, God's blessing is like royalty. It's like royalty on intellectual property. Oh my goodness. This is the type that, this is revelation. Chinua Achebe wrote his book, Things Fall Apart, in 1958. He was 26 years old at the time. Chinua Achebe is dead, the brilliant professor of literature. He's dead. He died, must be over 10 years ago or so. If you know, please type it in the comment section and then correct that. So he died, but up to today, he's still making money from the grave, from that one book he wrote in 1958. That's royalty. Same thing with Bob Marley. Died long ago, like in the early 80s or something, 81, 82. He's still making money today. Same thing with Michael Jackson. He's still making tens of millions of dollars every single year. Dead people are making money. Why? Intellectual property. they created once and then they reap so many times. That's how God blesses. When we give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over, shall men put in your laps. So when money is tight, that's the time to give. And I'm only saying that learn to practice the kind of giving where your left hand doesn't know what your right hand. So all these ones who are going on showing us the whatever women selling banana that they are giving 100,000 and things like that. Jesus says, look, they also have their reward, and the reward is all this up because we clap for them. We clap for them, and then you go to the comment section. Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you. You're generous. You're this. You don't change the person like this guy don't blow because of you. God bless. That is their reward, though. They are getting it. But after that one, that's it. That's it. So God's blessing is like royalty. It's like royalty on intellectual property. So why don't you build intellectual property, like spiritual intellectual property, by giving more? And then God will never stop giving. He will never stop blessing because of one act. And then the other kind of giving is listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Because many times, the giving, God has ordered this universe in such a way that He cares for everybody. He cares for everyone He made. Do you know there was a scripture my wife was sharing with me 2 days ago? I've been reading it for a long time. But this time, she just highlighted it, and I've not gotten over it for 3 days. Jesus told us that God is kind to the unthankful and to the evil. We used to think that the only people God is kind to are good people. But He said that God is kind to the unthankful, even people who don't say thank you, and to the evil people. Why do you think that sometimes the good people are the ones who die at 40? And then you find people, dictators, people who have destroyed this country, for instance, politicians who have robbed us, they are still alive, they are still whatever, because He's giving them. God also is kind to them because He wants that kindness that He's showing them to lead them to repent. So that is simply amazing. Okay, so we need to, Mame Afua has come to spam us here. Okay, and all right, so I'm going to ban Mame Afua. All right, okay, so I'm going to ban you from this page. She's coming here to sell recharge data. That's terrible. See what we're talking about. Okay, so when money is tight, please don't look for somebody to give you. You give to other people. Okay, now, but I was saying that the fastest way is to sell something. Okay, find something to sell. So I started talking about the woman who lost her husband, had 4 children. She started selling egusi. I don't know what they call egusi in your own language, but some people call it this melon seeds. So she was selling melon seeds. She's trained all her children, very hardworking. She started buying the unpeeled melon seeds, peeling it, and then selling. Amazing woman. Amazing woman. And I think that woman was a PhD, or she was on her way to getting her PhD, lecturing. Amazing woman. She may even be listening to this as I'm talking, and it may even be your mother. And then I knew another woman who now started making pap. So you find everyday demand product that people really, really demand. And you don't even have to be the person who owns it. Like right now, one of the hottest selling products in town. Do you want me to tell you? One of the hottest selling products in town is this solar camera. It's solar camera because that camera solves so many problems. It relieves so many pain points for many people, because here, like in our facility here, I had wanted to be able to see what's going on here from any part of the world I was. So I bought cameras, but they use electricity. And you know that electricity in Nigeria is zero. So buying a camera, like I did, I bought cameras, but they all depended on electricity. And so they were useless. So they only worked within the few minutes in the day that you had electricity. So now these guys have come with a very hot product where they use solar for powering the camera, and then the camera is 360 degrees and all that. And I don't know, have you seen the ads? Because it's all over the place. And I think it's about 140K. Now, you don't have to be the person who owns it. You find the distributor. Then you have your social media account. You sell. Maybe you have an arrangement. You buy from the distributor for 120, and then you sell for 140 and keep the difference and rinse and repeat. One day on social media, instead of just scrolling and then looking for gist about Messi Chimo and Very Dark Man and all this stupid whatever that pop up on the feed, use it to tell people, I have this product and I'm marketing it, buy from me. So when they order from you, you simply go to the distributor who brings it in, and you can find them. They're all over the place. In Alaba International Market, for instance. They ship for you. In fact, you may not even have to go there. They drop ship it for you. You pay the man his 120, and then keep your 20. Quick. Easy. But why people are not doing this, I can't understand. So, and I have, like in my own case, there's nothing I can't sell. There's nothing I can't sell. So some people say, oh, former Shell staff, he's selling wild honey. Give me a break. People want it, and I'm solving problems. I saw wild honey. I saw a hunter, because buying honey has peppered me and millions of people, because if you buy 20 different bottles of honey in the market, in the supermarket or by the roadside, I'm even talking about 20, if you buy 100, only three are real. I'm telling you. So then I went out of my way to drive around the communities and see the farmers who are actually doing it and who don't dilute it, who also go right there to, and I'm selling it. And then don't mind all the whatever people are making noise. People are buying. I have orders. So, and I'm making money, out of that. It's not a scale yet, because the guy can't harvest as much as people are requesting. Sell something. How can money be tight? There must be something you can sell. You can also sell things in your house that you don't know, that you're not using. Idle asset, sell them. So that will be the last thought, convert your idle asset. Look for assets around you that are sitting idle. Sell it or make it work. Maybe you even have some machinery in your house. Some of you ladies have sewing machines that you bought like 25 years ago and they're in the garage. That's idle asset. Use it. Or you have a juicer that you bought several years ago, some industrial juicer that can make pineapple juice with ginger, that can make tiger nut juice. Use it by all means, use it. Okay? All right. So in summary of today's topic, what to do when money is tight and then you are on your own. Reflect on why money is tight. So it could be that it's a feedback that you're getting. It could be a feedback, about your financial literacy. Number two, it could be a natural process. Just God teaching you patience, because building wealth requires patience, because wealth goes through a cycle of sowing and reaping. So when you are sowing, when you are investing in yourself, when you are learning, when you're undergoing mentorship, when you are paying to learn, that money might not be there. Money might be tight. But then there's hope that by the time you finish building that skill and then investing in yourself, that you're going to multiply your money. The third reason is there is a sudden, unexpected storm, unexpected event, a loved one dies or somebody falls ill with some chronic disease, and then it puts a very heavy strain on the family finances. So that could cause it. And then we've looked at a few things that you can do, and then highlights of which are like, watch how your mind processes the situation. Don't slip into depression. Don't slip into fear and frustration, because those only worsen things. And then we also talked about, giving, that you should actually give the most. And that the kind of giving you want to do is a type that your left hand doesn't know what your right hand is doing. And then given that you're sensitive in your heart to listen to where you should give, I had the most surprising experience, in this city. And God spoke to me directly that whenever I see mad people, I should buy them food. I should give them food. That He cares for them as well. And so you see them rummaging. So He said, whenever I see them, buy them food, buy them water. Very strange, very strange. So often you see me, and then it could be very embarrassing, but that's an instruction. It could be very embarrassing because the other day, one mad woman sitting by the gutter, me well dressed, and Africa is full of superstition, and I'm aware of that, and they seeing this man, this well dressed man, going to this mad lunatic woman, dirty big hair, and they're sitting there. Only God knows the kind of things going on in the minds of the people. But I didn't care. God says, feed them. And I actually went, I went and I said to this mad woman, the lunatic, I asked her, do you want me to pray for you? She immediately looked this way. So I kept on, like, I would like to pray for you. Would you want me to pray for you? Because I just needed her to say yes, to cast out. You could tell it was demonic. And she refused. She just kept like that. So there was a scene and people were watching and it's like, this man, what with the mad woman and things like that, but it was an instruction. Okay. Anyway, so I brought out money and then I gave her, she collected. She didn't want me to pray for her, but she wanted money. So I gave her money. You have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, behind this unseen realm. You have no idea the unseen transactions and things that have gone on in that woman's destiny, just there. You have no idea. So when money is tight, don't let your heart be tight. Don't let your fist be tight. Oh, I like the way these expressions are coming. Money can be tight, but your fist should never be tight. And then when money is tight, that's when you actually should give the most. You are giving not because you're expecting a return. For instance, that mad woman, she will never know who I am. And then she can never pay me back. So, and I wasn't giving because I'm not giving because I'm trying to bribe God to give me back. But I'm giving because it's an instruction. And then He knows, what He's going to do. And then I actually feel the joy and the peace being able to give. And then finally, sell something. Sell something. Stop being too, is it shy or you're feeling too big to sell? If you're too big to sell, hunger will finish you. Sell something. Find something to sell. And then you don't have to be the person who has a thing to sell. Arrange with somebody who has it. Sell it. Take your commission. Take whatever is on top and all that. And then sell your way out of financial adversity. That's the last word tonight. I hope that this has been very, very valuable to you. Say so in the comment section. And then whatever happens, keep showing up because you do not know what's coming your way next. And I'll see you at exactly same time tomorrow. Good night.